How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm here with another video with my Sears Free Spirit bicycle with the bike bug motor. But I wanted to do a video focusing in on the lighting system on this bike, which, as you can see, also says Free Spirit. It is also from Sears. I talked about it a little bit in the first video I did on this bike, the general overview of the whole bike video, which if you haven't seen, go check it out. I talked about it a little bit, and I mentioned that I didn't have all of the light bulbs that I needed for it. Well, now I do, and I just wanted to do a little quick overview of the lighting kit and how it all works. So again, it was sold by Sears under their Free Spirit name, so it matches the bike pretty good. Up here on the handlebars, you have the headlight. It bolts to your bolt that bolts the handlebar to your stem. That's how that mounts on there. You also have a tail light, and I have mine mounted back here on the reflector bracket, which is this bracket that it's actually bolted to came from something else that is not part of the kit. And I have some duct tape right here because I need to get around to drilling a hole right here so I can have two bolts. This one is just for the reflector, so I just have some duct tape in the meantime. Anyways, so tail light, headlight, and as you can see, there's some wires running around the bike. And the last piece of the puzzle is down here, which is the generator, which is what powers the lights, at least when you're pedaling, because this kit is kind of a dual mode lighting system, because you also have batteries in this compartment. And the way it works is you have your on-off switch right here. When the bike is at a standstill, it's probably, yeah, the sun's out, it's hard to see, but you can see one of those light bulbs is on. There's actually two light bulbs in there, and we'll take this apart later and I'll show you better. But when the bike is at a standstill, it's running off of the batteries. Once you pedal, something in here in the circuit board switches the power over and it runs off the generator. So it's pretty cool how it works. And both the headlight and the tail light have two bulbs in them. One bulb for the battery power and the other for generator power. Now, coming back to the generator down here, that comes with its own bracket, and that mounts on the kickstand bolt. So if you had an older bike, older than this, with a built-in kickstand, like a 50s bike or something, I'm not sure how you would mount this on here. But that's how the generator mounts on to your kickstand bolt. And it actually has a lever right here, as you can see, which if you flip up, drops the generator onto the tire. So when you don't want generator power, you can stow the generator down off of the tire. So that's pretty convenient. Now, if you are familiar with generator lights on bicycles, you'll know that since the light bulbs draw a load on the generator as you pedal and the lights are on, it'll add a bit of resistance to pedaling. However, this generator, and it's even advertised on the box as, I think it said 2/3 less pedaling resistance than other generators. You know how marketing tactics go. But I can attest to, when you're riding with it, you really don't feel a resistance at all. Now, I know this thing has a motor on it, but when you are pedaling without motor power, you really don't feel any resistance. So that's how the generator works, and it's just spring loaded onto the tire. There's supposed to be a little dust cover slash fender doohickey for this, but mine was broken. It had a crack in it when I got it. I keep meaning to try to glue it back together, but I haven't since. Now, as you can see, again, there's a bunch of wires running around everywhere, and I just have them zip tied along the bike frame. But you start out from one at the generator, it branches off, one goes to the tail light and one goes to the headlight. That is your clear coated wires. As you can see, the insulation is clear. Then you have another wire with black insulation, and that goes from the tail light, which there aren't terminals on here, but there are terminals on the headlight. But the black wire goes from the tail light to the headlight on this terminal, and there's the other terminal that goes to the generator from the headlight. So that's the wiring, pretty basic. And I got a bunch of slack wound up along this part right here. Now let me open first the tail light, then the headlight. Let me open these up and show you what's inside. The tail light opens up just by unscrewing this a little bit, and it lets this little tab out the way, which locates right here. Good thing that didn't break. So here's the inside of the tail light, and as you can see, 2 light bulbs. You may notice that they're different though, but even though they're different cosmetically, there's also one other major difference, and that is the voltage rating for them. The battery side light bulb is actually this is the generator side. The generator side bulbs take 4.8 volts, around there, 4.8 volt bulbs. And the battery side, let me get that out. The battery side uses around 2 to 2.2 volt bulbs. And I actually just reminded myself that I need to change out this bulb, because as you saw, this bulb has a threaded socket, but this is a bayonet style bulb, and it's just what I had on hand. It's just friction fit in there, which it still works pretty good, but every now and then it loosens out. But yeah, I need to get a threaded bulb for that one. Anyways, that's that's the inside of the tail light. Let me get this back on and I'll show you what's inside the headlight. So the headlight lens, similar to the tail light, is held on by this tab right here, which comes off if you unscrew this. and it locates up here with these two tabs as well. And here's the headlight lens. The beam part, I don't know what that's called, but you know, this part, it's all part of the lens, and the bulbs are in here as well. Back here you have all of the circuitry and stuff. This is the board with the electronics responsible for switching the two powers, and you have some contacts which mate with this once it's in there. And as you can see, this is pretty cool. It actually has a spare light bulb holder for your big bulb. In this one, the big bulb in the middle is your generator power bulb, and the small bulb on top is your battery power. And just like a normal car light, this one actually functions as a high beam, and the battery one functions as a low beam, which is pretty cool. And to change your light bulbs, these little inserts actually pull out from the lens, and then you can unscrew your light bulb. Or not really unscrew this one, just take it out, but this one you would unscrew. This one is actually a homemade socket. I took an E10 socket out of something I had because it would have been bayonet style like this, but I couldn't find a small enough bulb bayonet style that would fit in those tabs like this one does. So this is a little homemade socket for the low beam bulb, but it still comes out just the same, and it unscrews. And this is the same kind of bulb that is for the taillight battery power bulb. Luckily, these two bigger bulbs came with it when I got it, because those might be a little hard to find, just like this one was. I couldn't locate what this was supposed to be originally. So I'm glad I have these, and I even have a spare as well. So that's the inside of the headlight. You also have these side lenses, and on the box it is advertised that these illuminate, but they really don't, because the headlight beam is all concealed in the lens, so it doesn't really light up. So I don't know why they say that, but it's fine. The last thing on the headlight is the battery compartment, which you get to with this flathead screw right here. And lift that off, and that is how you access your two C-cell batteries for your battery powered bulbs. This is starting to be a tongue twister session. And on this cover is the on-off switch, which contacts the two sides of your battery here. So that's pretty much how the whole headlight kit operates. Let me screw this back on real quick, and I'll be right back. There we go. So yeah, that's everything. Now, I don't really ride this bike at night at all, so I don't, use this as a headlight really. But it's more for looks, because I thought it would be cool and interesting to have the matching Free Spirit light kit on the Free Spirit bike. Just cause. I've said this before, I just wish I had the Free Spirit branded motor. That would have really topped it off. But it is what it is. But yeah, it's just a cool match to the bike, and it makes it look pretty cool as well. It gives it a nice little moped look with that engine on there. So yeah, that's all to cover on the headlight kit. That's how it all operates. But before I end the video, I'm gonna wait for the sun to go down and wait for it to get dark, and I'll show you those lights in a little better lighting, or no lighting, I guess. So I'll be back once the sun goes down. Okay, it's now dark, as you can see, and here is the lights lit up at night. We've got our headlight up front, and here is our tail light out back. Now again, this is on battery power. As you can see, the headlight isn't very good. It's pretty dim. This is on versus off. My batteries might be a little low. Maybe I can get a lower voltage bulb to get a little better brightness out of it too. But again, I don't really ride this at night. It's more for looks. Anyways, now I'm gonna kick over the bike and show you how it switches to the generator power. Okay, let me go spin the tire real quick. Now that's a difference. And as you can see, not much different from the tail light when it switches over. I don't think it would pick up on camera, but as it's switching over, when it's spooling down, you can see the two bulbs flickering in and out. But other than that, it's the same brightness. But yeah, you can see how much brighter that headlight gets when it's running on the generator. I might have to do something about that battery side and again change bulbs out, or maybe the batteries are low, but I'm gonna have to look into making that light brighter when it's on the battery power. Well, I came over to the only dark part of my street, which is a dead end, to show you how it works while pedaling and see how it transitions. And you can see it puts out a pretty decent beam, actually. Now you can adjust it too. There's a bolt on that mounting bracket that you can loosen, and you can tilt the headlight up and down and aim it where you need to. But yeah, it puts out a pretty good beam. Pretty cool. It kind of shines on the motor a lot though, but it works pretty good, honestly. Anyways, that's how the Sears Free Spirit generator light kit works on my Free Spirit bike. So that's gonna do it. I want to thank you for watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed and found it interesting. And I want to thank you for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day or night.